Chat, here we go. We've got another matchup for the ages, a matchup that has happened a couple times before, but never on the same ping. We've got Daniel versus ApparentlyJack. Two titans of the EU and North American 1v1 regions. Finally playing on EU ping together, as Daniel is still in London after the end of the previous RLCS major. He has stuck around because he is headed to Saudi in the next week in order to play in a crew battle tournament, which is also the reason why both these guys are interested in practicing some 1v1s, because they're going to be forced into playing 1v1s for their team almost definitely in an attempt to win what will be the biggest prize pool LAN at the time. It'll get beat by RLCS Worlds happening a couple weeks after that. But for a few weeks, it will hold the title as the highest prize pool LAN. But first, we have got some 1v1 matches here today. A best of 7 between Daniel and ApparentlyJack. Daniel and Jack have played twice, not on my stream before, but I think just twice against each other in show matches, period. First was when we did, if you remember a long time ago, we had EU versus NA matches where we split between North America and EU servers. So 3 of them were played on North America, 3 were played on EU, and Jack and Daniel played at the end of the day in that, and Daniel won 5-1. This was during the time that I think Daniel was probably playing the best 1v1 of anybody in the world. A few weeks after, they met in Feer Fest, one of the first big tournaments I ran, in the semifinals, and Jack won that. That one we went back and forth on servers, and Jack won 4-1. So 2 dominations between the 2 different players, and at the start of this one, Jack has the edge once again. But I'll use this opportunity as Jack gets a nice double to show the ping. Look at that. Beautiful. You got to stare at the scoreboard a little bit in these situations. 20 and 28 ping. It never gets fairer than this. Now, I think if there's been a player who's been more focused on ones in the past few months, it's certainly Jack. I don't think Daniel has been playing as much 1v1 ranked as Jack does. He plays 1v1 ranked for content and YouTube videos, so I think it just tends to him playing it much more often. But Daniel looked really solid yesterday. We had him playing against one of EU's better 1v1ers in Raziers, and he just completely dominated him. So far, hasn't found any offense against Jack. Maybe Jack just doing a better job of snuffing out any one of these possessions. You want to see Daniel get comfortable, and right now, I think he is playing very safe. This is a great 50. Maybe this will get him started off, because when Daniel plays his best Rocket League is when it seems like he almost doesn't care who's going to win and just wants to hit clips. And as long as he's hitting everything, he's literally unstoppable. But right now, playing a little bit safer, he does get a ground 50 to get a first. And I think if the game stays slow, stays on the ground, stays, a very controlled back and forth, I think that's going to heavily favor Jack. Daniel's advantage is going to be when the game speeds up a lot, takes to the air often. I think he'll have the slight edge in that speed. Jack, is he going to find a way to score this? He will. Daniel can't get back around the ball in time to clear it away. Able to get that first save, but a good land in order to just put the ball in a spot that is impossible to stop. By the way, I think I missed a couple different primes and subs. I'll try and go back and make sure I get everybody at the end of the show match. Daniel stealing reset. I like to see him going for these. It's a really impressive save from Jack, and unfortunately, the replay is not going to show it, but he predicted that Daniel was going to be able to pop that as high as he did, because Daniel brought it all the way down to the ground and then popped it back up near the top shelf, which you'd think would make Jack miss low, but he had the read. Right now, he is on fire as far as the one's mindset goes. Daniel to this guy's again. I like to see him doing this. Yeah, Jack with the miss on the free jump and a second. So far, these players making me look right. Daniel looking solid in the air. Jack really slow on this kickoff. Didn't feel like he had a position to flip out of the midfield in order to pick up that boost, so he just slowly rolled it. And And of course, Daniel's eventually going to come out on top on that. Good recovery late by Daniel. And he played so well in these zero boost situations against Wazirs, and it's not going to change against Jack either. He recovers late, and then he's just really good on the counter. I mean, Jack steals his corner boost. He thinks that he doesn't have to worry about a shot on his net. Thinks he can corral the ball and put pressure on Daniel, but he just instantly relieves it. And does so with a long shot to put himself within 2. Jack, a reset without getting a second reset. It is pretty easy for Daniel to read on defense. Now, Daniel to the skies again. The 50 is stopped out. Jack is trying to super pre-read this wall to air dribble. You see him going all the way up to the ceiling on the wall. And he actually did a good job of forcing Daniel not to take it high. Jack now with very little boost. Right inside his net. Could be a tough situation. He gets a respawn. So at least he'll have 100. But this bounce dribble is hard to defend. Daniel, it's slow, but it works. And the reason why is because he's constantly threatening placing the ball behind Jack or on the far post. So Jack can't decide. You see him just feathering boost. And as long as Daniel keeps switching up what option he's going for, then Jack is just going to be frozen. And then a soft shot like that is enough to score and put himself within 1. Daniel with a rough start to this match. I think going down felt like 3 goals early. He's worked his way back in. The question is, does he have enough time to bring it all the way back to a tie game in this game number 1? Jack is going to completely retreat from Daniel. His flick is, oh, just barely off. Post and crossbar as it finds its way out. That is going to be a crucial moment in this game. It is not easy to get opportunities like that against Jack. And he might not be able to find another one in the next 30 seconds. And in fact, Jack's going to push it up 2. Daniel trying to do his best to undercut Jack and somehow clear this ball. But he couldn't do both. Now he needs a kickoff goal and maybe 2. Daniel, great patience as this ball is rolling into his half. He's got Jack awkward. He just collided into that post, but great read by Jack to turn his car in defense where he expects that play to likely go. And he is prepared for the save. And that should ice out game number 1. Yeah, definitely after his 3rd goal. So signs of life from Daniel through the majority of the end of the game. Of course, in the final moments, Jack was able to put a couple more on. I think that if you're Daniel, you know it's because you've turned a little bit more aggressive. But I'm expecting to see a closer game number 2 now that Daniel shook off the nerves a little bit. He also was playing Octane yesterday. I wonder if we're going to see him go back to Octane here. Game number 2. Daniel and ApparentlyJack. Daniel is back in the stock team we saw him playing with yesterday. Can he get off to a better start here in this game number 2? He's going to start with a wall to air dribble. He's been threatening the musties, but instead he just tries to protect the ball. He did a great job of that yesterday. We talked about it a lot. And he did a decent job of it here again today. Jack was able to get the save, but Daniel just quick from the corner. Oh man, Jack, he actually didn't use some boost there. He had 24, but he didn't want to use it all up to get out to that ball, and he really needed to. Obviously, in retrospect, I imagine he wishes he used it because he could have pinched and helped push that ball away. He didn't want to do so because it would have led to him having nothing and then a bounce that wasn't going to be super favorable. But obviously, anything is favorable to the ball going in your net. Oh, nice demo. Threatening the hook shot. Finds himself a little bit in front of the play. Yeah, as you can see, like he's not going to be able to get a strong shot from that position to the right post because he ended up driving too far. So you might as well just cut in front of the ball and try and take out the defender. Jack looking to place top left. Wow. Wasn't quite top left, but it doesn't matter when you go crossbar and down. Not much you can do. Daniel does rotate into the corner boost. And then that recovery might be the reason why he presses past the near post, because he has to recover quickly. Now, if he doesn't go grab the 100 boost, though, I think he's in an even worse situation trying to defend with very little. You might not over-rotate or over-recover like he did there, but I think that'll just make it even easier for Jack to score. Daniel with 25. Realized he needs to hold on to as much as possible because Jack has started to steal it away. He tried to intercept it off the wall, and it was definitely an all-in play. If he somehow did find the interception here, but I mean, you could tell from Jack's perspective, he was never going to have a chance at that. So another early start in favor of Jack. Jack looking to go top right. Misses. Misses big on both those shots, enough that Daniel's going to get a possession for free. The wave dash, the bump. You love to see it from Daniel. Jack's going to throw him the nice shot. He does not want to respect this aerial game. You know, if he pre-jumps or he starts to make his attack early, that's when Daniel might use the reset because he can see that he can push it past him. But if Jack's just going to stay on the ground, Daniel will land back down and take him out of the play. Interesting kickoff win here for Daniel. He has 100 boosts, but he's so deep in Jack's half that, yeah, I was going to say, it doesn't even really feel like it's that much of an advantage for him because it's so hard to gain good control of the ball from that position. And what ends up happening is he doesn't gain control, and Jack is able to bump him out and get a quick goal. Jack's going to steal Daniel's boost, and you see that slight trip towards midfield is sometimes enough to make that other player think that you're going there and feel good about flipping towards the back corner. Because what you want to do when you're stealing that boost is convince the other player to flip to the same corner as you so you can beat him on the 100 and they can be stuck with nothing. Daniel's going to have a really easy goal here after a great defensive stand. Going over the top of an air dribble bump. He was always one of the better defenders against the air dribble bump. I think the best we've ever seen is Verwas. That guy just somehow never gets air dribble bumped. Jack from the wall, not a great first touch. So he's just trying to play. He's just trying to keep it in play, and he ends up getting a really great low 50. I highly doubt this is what he wanted to do at the beginning, but that is the beauty of somebody who can improvise. Daniel, once again, going to have to try and find a way to gain possession. He does. Now he's got himself a full field dribble. Jack is falling from the ceiling. He's going to have such a hard time intercepting this. I mean, Daniel doesn't even really have to do much because this is so hard. Falling from the ceiling this early, he just had too much speed and put himself past the play. He would have had to immediately start using some boost to make sure he didn't fly past it. Daniel, wall to air dribble. This will be a great example of how Daniel is feeling. These are normally automatic goals for him. So if he's not scoring in these positions like he didn't just now, it's not a great sign. Jack, flick up to the backboard. Saved away, and just enough was connected on that backflip challenge. Jack shadowing close. Felt confident anytime he needs to backflip. He tried to leave the play here. These two weren't sure who was going to get the ball. Daniel missed wide. Jack left the net, though. He could have gotten this save. I think he gave up on it because he thought it was in. Oh, no, he's just trying to get the race one to the corner boost. I guess he thought, if it's going across, I need to make sure I win the race and not let Daniel starve me out. So he did not predict the post bounce. He took himself too far out of the play. Daniel trying to get a low 50. The ball got just enough over the top, but Daniel will score. A crucial kickoff to give himself a nice lead. Jack trying to put pressure on without any boost. And there was just enough of a forward touch from Daniel. Jack had already picked his line on where he wanted to 50 with Daniel on the wall. And because Daniel pushed the ball just a little bit more forward, it made it so that Jack's challenge came basically at an exact sideways angle instead of partially goal side like he wanted to be. A minute 30. How will Daniel handle the lead? Can he use it to extend it further? Jack had done a good job of doing that in game number one. Daniel, wall to air dribble. A great start. He can't push this too high, though. Otherwise, it's going to give a free goal. Jack is too good. Oh, wait. Maybe it's not as free as I thought. Jack! What just happened? Jack just had a wide open net. Thank goodness Daniel didn't drop his controller. That absolutely should have been a free one for Jack. But he just misses the absolute freebie. And now another long shot is wide. The balance is not favorable, so he can't continue it. Daniel needs to get a little bit better reads of when he has Jack beat. That's a great demo. And it looks like it's not going to result in a goal. Oh, that flip away from it again. Oh, no, Daniel, what's going on? He doesn't pick up any boost. He doesn't hold on to possession. Oh, but look at that. He got himself out of it with a crazy quick challenge, and he used up all the boost he picked up in the corner to do it. Jack getting bumped. Daniel just needs to keep himself on the field, which he did. Now Jack wall to air dribble. He has looked really solid. This is a great setup. Going to be really tough to stop. When you set it up as good as that, the options are unlimited. How can Daniel cover them all? He threatens going high. Ultimately tries to get the low save. And Jack squishes it even lower. 6-6, 21 seconds. Crucial final moments. Did Daniel get the power for a kickoff goal? He did. Daniel has looked like he's had the edge even late in this game in kickoffs. Something you might expect to see favor Jack, who I believe plays a little bit more ranked ones, just ones in general. Daniel, another kickoff in his favor. He needs to be careful on this wall air dribble. I don't think he shouldn't go for it because it is his game, but he just needs to protect. Protect over score is more important in this situation. And now he's going to shadow, take Jack away, let this ball hit the ground surely, and win game number 2 to tie up the series. Daniel with another car change into a different octane for this game. The classic North American octane. Jack getting a just barely save. I think the reason why he wants to do that, he wants to pinch the ball as far away as he can, but most importantly, he wants to hold on to 14 boost if possible to try and make this continuation save. But Daniel did it all with 0 and did it expertly to put himself up 1-0. Daniel staying aggressive off of this kickoff despite not picking up the 100. Needs to be careful in order to not leave a window open. Jack's going to try and go for the double. Can Daniel get there? No, he cannot because Jack placed it well. If he doesn't place it as good as he did, there is a chance Daniel recovers. And this is the danger of trying to play greedy off those kickoffs. These situations are not often going to happen, but they will happen when you're late recovering with low boost. Daniel back into his own corner, and he just passed it to Jack. Too strong. Wasn't going to be able to protect this ball. Jack sees that opportunity. 2-1. This kickoff is going to result in tons of field for Jack. He's going to take the huge dribble, the immediate touch to try and get over the top of Daniel. Daniel does a good job to cover it, and he can't get the second save. I thought he was going to be in trouble as he immediately jumped for this. Jack just tried to make him awkward, and it ends up working out. So credit to Jack. He saw the pre-jump, and he just wanted to accelerate the ball immediately because it will make Daniel's pre-jump read tough. And there's a good chance Daniel doesn't touch it at all. But even when Daniel does get a connection, it's not the one he would want, and he's going to have a tough time making a continuation save. Can Daniel score this before Jack spawns? Yeah, he can. Easily. Easily he can. What server is this? By the way, chat, if you just shown up and you haven't been watching, these guys are both on EU ping. So we're on EU 20 versus 28 ping. Daniel has better EU ping than Jack does. Jack, great challenge. Is the bounce going to take a long enough time to get center for Daniel to get back? It is, just barely. I thought it wasn't. That was actually a pretty good bounce for Jack. It doesn't get much better than it popping immediately from the corner directly to the midfield. But Daniel still had the recovery, and that is just something he's always been elite at. So fast at getting back. And that net could be open if he plays this fast enough. He just couldn't get the dribble started. You could tell Jack was recovering low. Now Daniel, the bounce dribble, covered well by Jack. Good single jump to cover all the hook shots and didn't put himself too far out of position when Daniel went for the fake. Great catch and cut. Wow, even Jack has to throw in the nice shot. Daniel playing from the air, able to get the reset and wave dash to take the ball away. He says, I'm not going to that post. Let me just slot it here on the far post. Jack with a kickoff win. Both these guys look great in the air. That's not a good setup. That's such a straight up open net. And normally these guys are elite at doing the most important thing with an aerial attack, and that is protecting the ball. As you fall through the air, you always need to protect the ball, play safe. Whether you score or not, you just need to make sure that a neutral position is gained after the end of the play. And I would say normally these guys are totally elite at that, where I would expect almost none of those air dribbles to go that way throughout the course of this game. But Jack, a bit of a mistake, made even worse by an immediate kickoff loss. Now he's going to have to play from down 2. Jack flick to the top right. Saves. Daniel taking a very interesting angle. Look at how far he went out to the midfield in order to take an angle back at this play. You know, that first challenge wasn't bad. I think we didn't really get to see what maybe Daniel had in mind, because Jack ended up playing it just so patiently. But I think if Jack jumps into that ball, then we find out the reason why Daniel's doing that. When Jack just stays grounded, I think it ends up being exactly what Jack wants. Hard for Daniel to tap that ball and then recover back. Immediate kickoff for Jack. Daniel trying to go completely diagonal into the ball, and I think Jack just got there quick enough and went goal side. I wonder if Daniel has been doing diagonal kickoffs this whole time. He does another diagonal. What I mean by that is you see on pretty much every kickoff, but especially the close diagonals, players sometimes just try and win the race as fast as they can to push the ball straight in a straight line, right, from where they started, which is to just hit it diagonally into the corner. And other players, well, this is a great aerial play by Daniel, but other players will just try and get goal side and force the ball straight towards the net. Now, if you can get there fast enough, it absolutely destroys the diagonal kickoff, because you're guaranteed to slam it into the opponent's wall and then out in front of the net. But Daniel had been winning a ton of kickoffs, so he must have just been able to win with speed if he's going to go directly into that diagonal. He's got the lead once again. He's got tons of space. Jack shadowing it just the right distance to make this flick be the last flick of this possession. Or maybe not. Daniel doing a good job pressuring the ball as Jack tries to take control. This is a good 50, and Daniel saved his wave dash. If you ever wondered what wave dashes do for you in terms of speed, here's your answer. Jack uses both jumps to try and get to this ball. Not only does not using his flip make it so he lands on the ground faster, but it also makes him accelerate way quicker off the ground as he hits the wave dash. And Jack truly had no opportunity to get that save. Jack, is he out of position here? Great challenge. Really good recovery from what was a dangerous position after getting bumped in Daniel's corner. Jack cannot see Daniel at all. He's going to go air dribble bump, and he's going to get a 6th. We talked about Daniel being good at dodging these. This time, the cadence of the pre-jump was off. So I think the reason why he's not up early enough is because you see him do that single jump into wave dash, and that means he can't get back up in the air until he lands back down on the ground. Now, I think normally what Daniel wants to do in that situation is he wants to jump really early, and he wants to jump at basically a time when he was already in the air, so he couldn't get up, and it made himself a target for the air dribble bump. Now Jack, soft touch. Daniel must have been low on boost, yeah, because that really soft touch by Jack actually just teed the ball up for Daniel if he had any, but because he was completely starved, he couldn't get to the play, and Jack knew it. Jack's got it all tied up, going for the long shot. I think he missed wide. Even if Daniel doesn't redirect it. Daniel's starting to look like he's going for the normal Daniel clips we're used to. This double doesn't connect, but at least he gets a good enough touch on it that he doesn't just score in his own net, basically. Jack going for another one of those low ground dribbles where he tries to demo. But the reason why this one didn't go in his favor is because he was so far on the wrong side of the ball. Daniel knew there was no kind of shot he could make except for going for a bump. And Daniel, a mistake on the ground, leads to a free goal. See if we will go back in time enough. Daniel just thought his fake was going to be good enough. He was trying to get Jack to miss flying past the ball, but that was nowhere close to happening. 30 seconds. Jack looking to take the early lead in the best of 7. Daniel thought he had an opportunity to just win a race to the ball. He was wrong. Jack able to get a touch. This will be the final offensive possession here for Daniel. And I think he thought Jack was going to come out and meet him at midfield. He was planning on Jack trying to surprise him, because that's the kind of shot you would take when you think that. But now Daniel in the air, he is so casual. He needs to not let it hit the ground, though, and he doesn't! Daniel with the ice! Oh, my goodness. Jack covers high. He wants to force Daniel to make some kind of ground play, but Daniel just catches it and pops it to the net without ever letting it hit the ground to tie it up for overtime in game number 3. Crucial kickoff here. Who will play with the lead in the series? Daniel! It will be Daniel! Oh my goodness. Chat says, damn, Daniel, and they're right. What a performance in the final moments. A game stolen from Jack with an expert air dribble. Oh my goodness. Game number 3 for the North American. As we head to game 4. Game number 4. Daniel versus Jack. By the way, chat, any alerts that we're getting, I'll try and make sure and go back after the match. For now, I'm going to focus on giving us the best quality show we can. Daniel going to challenge over the top of Jack early in game number 4. Jack must have thought he was protecting that ball enough. Oh my goodness, Jack. That is not what you want to see on a diagonal kickoff. But another piece of info is that Daniel stopped doing his direct diagonal. As I was talking before, he was going straight into the ball and trying to push it into Jack's left corner. And I think Jack maybe was trying to do a counter for that. It seemed like he actually delayed on the touch. And if Daniel does do the kickoff he normally does, where he slams the ball into Jack's back corner, then I think Jack is actually in a position to redirect that towards Daniel's half. So his kickoff might have worked had Daniel done what he was doing earlier, but he switched it up. And now Jack, a great air dribble bump. Daniel not standing a chance against that one. And Jack get another quick goal. He should be able to. Yep. Slots it near post. And no chance. Let's see what Daniel does on... Well, this is just a straight kickoff. Daniel looking to try and push it right. But I think Jack was just a little bit more square. That's why he's able to force it to Daniel's half. This time, Daniel very intentionally pushing it left. Doesn't win it, but doesn't immediately lose it. So better than last time. I don't think Jack got the reset. And I bet you Daniel is even more sure about that. Ooh, Daniel trying to take a dribble directly towards Jack's net is very tough. It's not going to be it's going to be easy for Jack to dunk that right over the top of him in a very dangerous fashion. Where if he goes a little bit more left to right, then the risk is a little bit lower. Is Daniel going to have this post read? He is not. He's decided not to go all in. He could have taken a big risk, planned on the fact that he would have read the bounce and just gone for a flip, but I think he might have missed wide again. He did it again. No, Jack gets the save. That was an open net. Daniel definitely beating himself up over not being able to get that one. I don't know if it was quite as bad as the one we saw Jack not get earlier, but still, Daniel, the frustration. I think this is a bit of a frustration play right here. You watch him go for that air dribble. I mean, he knows that Musty never stands a chance, right? And it's incredibly high risk. And I actually think that likely happened because he just missed his open net. He wants his goal that he thought he was going to get. But he doesn't find it. Jack, a demo, should be a fourth. Unless Daniel has some kind of miracle spawn, and he does! Daniel does have a miracle spawn. That's exactly where he needed to be, in the way of Jack, in order to force him off the ball. That was 200 IQ spawn by Daniel. Really good decision to pick that spawn point by him. Daniel have to be careful here. Late recovery, Jack popping it over the top of him. It's just so hard when you and the opponent are step and step on the recovery at full supersonic. It's just, you can't slow down. You can't change up the speed at all. You can't swing wide to like get the angle you want because the play is happening so fast. It's just going to be really hard for Daniel to get a save in that position, especially when Jack knows exactly what to do to make it as hard as possible. Daniel from the corner. Redemption for the previous Musty that went nowhere close. He's going to once again take it to the ground, but he actually tries to take it to the corner that Jack is facing. Daniel looks to fake, and now he might have an opportunity. I don't think he's going to be able to get back to the ball because Jack got just enough of a bump. Now Daniel back to his own corner. Air dribble, reset, pop. Oh no, another almost. It was just about perfect execution. But instead it bounces off the post and out, or off the crossbar and out. And now the long shot for Jack. This has been a couple brutal plays from Daniel in this game where it felt like he had it, and instead, not only does he not score, but shortly after, Jack gets a goal as well. Jack, another kickoff win. Kickoffs have certainly been in his favor in this game. Jack with a very slow dribble. He has some of the calmest, slowest dribbles of anybody I've watched play in Rocket League 1v1. Specifically, when he was playing in that EU versus NA event, I remember he would just almost stop the game. He would just completely kill the ball on top of his car and then wait for the defender to make a mistake because he's got such good reads. Daniel was maybe hoping to pass that to himself, but he knew that was a pass to Jack as soon as he did it. And that's why you see him not even trying to recover. The Nexto dribble. Yeah, you're kind of right. Nexto does that too. Nexto just gets the ball on top of his car and just sits and waits. And you just, since he's an AI, there's absolutely nothing you can do because he'll just read you no matter what and has perfect flicks 100% of the time. Jack missed the catch. That's an open net. And it's only plays like that that are going to give Daniel even a chance here. With 48 seconds before this play, he had 4 goals to make up. Now he has 3. And the only 2 ways Daniel comes back here is dominance in the kickoffs, which he hasn't had in this game, or just complete Jack mistakes like that. Jack trying to place it top left, didn't, and Daniel will take it away. Needed to place that on net. That's the danger of going for the absolute perfect placement. If he goes a little bit lower, if he goes too low, then Daniel's going to save as well because Daniel's going to boom the ball into the corner and he's going to have the counter. If he goes too high, then that's what happens. So you have to slot it perfect, and he really didn't have much other choice. With low boosts, his best option was to take a shot. Now Daniel with the slowest air dribble of all time, and it's not going to go in. And the reason why is I think it's because he takes the ball too high. Because he takes it too high, he has to almost stop it so that it comes back down and doesn't hit the backboard. And then he's in front of the play, and now the bump is impossible. Seven 4. Bounce dribble. Will Daniel try and get one for the road? Hey, he finally gets one as he tries to slot it. The execution has been slightly off for both these guys, but it's been a little bit worse for Daniel in this game. But this wasn't... Yeah, this was an own goal. Daniel still missed. If Jack isn't there, that one doesn't go in, so... Maybe Utopia Coliseum Dusk just isn't it for Daniel. Jack's going to get another one. Just on the off chance that Daniel was somehow going to be able to get back those 2 goals. Not going to go to this kickoff. Daniel is just going to own goal. Oh, I thought he was going to make us watch another goal replay. Jack will tie it up 2-2. Remember, this is a best of 7. Best of 7. So neither one of these guys are on game point. Game number 5. Daniel back in the Fennec. Changing car every game. Whereas Jack is sticking true to his Dignitas decal and his OEMs. Daniel, the reset, the shot, and he gets it. A risky play, but an early goal for Daniel. And the reason why this is risky is he falls so far away from the ball. He's not protecting it. If Jack could have challenged earlier, he would have been able to steal it away for free. And also, it's just hard to make a read that far away from the ball. But not if your name is Daniel. If your name is Daniel, then it's absolutely free. He goes up 1-0. Jack, once again, trying to slowly work the ball down the center of the field. Daniel playing super aggressive. He might have got himself an open net, and he got himself a second. Jack wants to play slow. Daniel wants to play fast, just like I talked about at the start of this match. It has held true. If Jack can slow the game down, he will control it. If Daniel can speed it up, he might be able to take the lead. Great save from Jack. But, oh my goodness, what a second save. That net was fairly open. It was a tough angle. If Daniel could have found the opposite post, he would have had it for sure. But that was going to be a really hard shot. So instead, he just placed it perfectly top corner in the near post. And Jack somehow had that save too, off the inside of his net. It's such a bummer that it's not going to work out for him because Daniel does eventually score. Great flick and boost steals in order to make sure that possession eventually went his way. But man, credit to Jack. He actually started that off with a nice save as well on a kickoff goal that a worse player definitely would have let in. But he had a quick recovery, was able to corral it out. But man, the start of this game is just not going in Jack's favor. Another kickoff loss, and this time he gets really greedy on the demo, completely forgets about the ball, and just believes in the fact he'll be able to snipe Daniel. Daniel goes over the top of him. Another kickoff in Daniel's favor. Both these guys have 0. Daniel going to play patient. Knows Jack won't get a strong clear. Daniel trying to chip that. I imagine on net. I don't think he was trying to chip that to the back wall. Oh my goodness. Is he going to get a shot from this? He actually holds on to possession, which I'm very surprised. Jack had the pre-flip out to in front of the ball instead of out of the ball. Jack trying to gain a possession here in the corner. He's going to get it. Daniel with the single touch never was going to find a way in the net, I don't think. Was just trying to slow him down. Look at how fast Daniel's playing. This is what I'm talking about. Daniel just wants to play as speedy as possible, and it's been working in the first minute 40 or so to get him his 4 goals. So apparently he's not going to stop that now, even though there wasn't a great position to get a challenge on that ball. Supersonic at all costs. We know that's how Dupo likes to play his 1v1s. Jack dribble from the back corner. The reset. And he can't quite get it in. All about the setup. If the setup was a little bit more to the center of the net, I have a feeling Daniel would have had a tough time saving it, but Jack just set it up slightly off. Daniel looking for a demo. And it just so works out that Jack can conveniently pop the ball off the wall with the jump at the right time to dodge it, and then Daniel can't get up over the top of this air dribble bump. Let's watch it again, because like we talked about, Daniel is pretty good at stopping these. But if the dribble starts when he's in the air, this time he's in the air because he flips back to net, and that means he can't get up. The dribble needs to start at the time when all 4 wheels are on the ground, and then I think Daniel is good at getting up over the top of it. Oh, can't get the save here. letting Jack back into it. By the way, I'll try and go through all subs that I missed during this, but Jomar with the 5 gifted. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate that. Chat is dying of cringe over all the air dribble bumps. Daniel, quick reset. He got Jack in the air. He just pulls off of it. He got Jack up in the air again. Jack, great interception. Pre-flip from Daniel is enough to kill that long shot. Push the ball into the corner. Jack is going to have to leave. Doesn't have enough boost, and I think Daniel played this too fast. Jack, what is he doing? Daniel, he actually had more faith than I did. I tell you what, Daniel figured he might touch it. So you see Daniel moves to the right side of the ball just in case Jack is going to touch it. But I felt like, watching from Daniel's perspective, it was pretty clear Jack was just flying himself into no man's land. Oh, that's a direct kickoff goal. Hey, nothing like a big mistake getting completely erased by just dominating a kickoff. And let's see, did Daniel go straight diagonal on this again? Yeah, he did. I wonder if he's going to stop doing that. Jack has done a good job of getting to the ball fast enough and going goal side that he is just dominating those diagonals. And the one time we actually saw Daniel at the beginning of last game go for a more conventional diagonal, he ended up scoring on a quick shot. So surprised we haven't seen him go back to it. Maybe just trying to keep the kickoff as mixed up as possible. Daniel the pre-jump. Back down on the ground. Jack cannot see where he's at. Can only hope to know what he's doing. And it doesn't matter as he pops it high and makes the first save tough enough that the continuation not possible. Daniel actually maybe could have drove out to net. I think the reason why he doesn't, or drove out of net to try and challenge, is he's probably worried about getting faked. But he had 38 boost, so if he wanted to keep his speed and just go straight to the play and try and dunk, you know, there's a chance he could have gotten the ball. And obviously, with the hindsight 2020 knowing that he got scored on, going back, I'm sure he would have rather tried that. But now Jack, the kickoff goal in the lead. This felt like a game that was going to be Daniel's for the first 3 minutes at least. But Jack has resurged here late. And as you cross under that minute mark in a 1v1, that's when you can start playing your lead. And in fact, it almost seems like Jack is already playing his lead. Bit of a desperation challenge from Daniel in the corner here. He's got more than enough boost. And Jack isn't really going to be able to shoot from that spot. I'm interested to understand why Daniel felt so worried about that. Wait, did he just change his camera settings? Daniel just moved his camera settings back. A tilt camera settings change from Daniel. He's now playing from the moon. Not necessarily the moon, but from miles away from his car. And it's going to work. It's going to work. Everybody quick, jot these camera settings down. These camera settings are free. They force your opponent to miss their shot. And Daniel within one. A minute 10 left to go. He's just playing full. He's playing full. I can't think of his name. Oh, Gengar. He's got Gengar settings. No way he hits an air dribble on the Gengar settings. What? He actually got the 50. I'm impressed he even got that much. Oh my goodness. He could see everything in the world. There's no way Daniel will ever be faked. He actually has an open net. Oh no, Jack pre-jumps it. It's so hard to tell what's open and not on those settings. Jack, he missed! He missed! The Gengar settings! They're OP! Oh my goodness! Daniel unlocked the make your opponent miss meta, which is just to take your camera and put it on the actual moon. And now Jack just can't hit anything. He let him back in. The question is, does Daniel stick with Gengar now that he's tied it up? And he says yes. No reason to change. They've been working for me in the past minute. I'm going to believe in them all the way till the end. Air dribble bump saved by the Gengar settings. Can Jack finish it off? No, he cannot. Nothing will get it past him. Wall to air dribble for Jack. Daniel needs boost. He gets it just at the right time. Is able to get the save. I don't know how. He's got an opportunity going the other way. He's just going to try and pop it high. And this is actually one of the best times for Daniel to actually have these settings. He can get easy reads in the air. Jack going to clear it long. Is Daniel going to let it hit the ground? No, he's not. That seems like a mistake to me. He'll let it hit now. Overtime. We got to watch it from Daniel's perspective. Look at these settings. Jack does win the kickoff. Daniel trying to decide whether or not he should go to that corner boost. Saves this one high. He has 25 to come off the wall with. Can he get back up? No, he cannot. Hey, the Gengar settings almost got him there. But Jack does end up winning a crucial Game 5. A couple games left to go. Daniel needs to get 2 wins. It's not over, but certainly the advantage to Jack. I can't believe that worked. This is so messy. I wonder if Daniel knows that Jack went to those settings. All right, Neo Tokyo it is. Game number 6. Daniel is going to go back to regular camera settings. Interesting decision from him, considering when he's been playing with Gengar settings, he is up something like 3-1 or something like that. Jack, the air dribble bump. He wants to farm the dies of cringe in chat. He likes to farm emotes. Daniel this time actually was grounded. Just a little bit too deep underneath the play. He's got to be farther ahead of it as well if we want to just continue to workshop Daniel's attempt at being able to save these. Ooh. Missed boost and enough to lose the possession. That is a crucial miss. Daniel's flick saved. Jack actually did not get a good save. I think what you want is to kill the ball directly on the back wall. Was that a reset bump? Oh my goodness, Daniel. Jack's going to throw in the nice shot. How do we feel about this, chat? Does this count as cringe, or is it cool because he got a reset? Oh, Jack almost got to that save. Not cringe? The counter cringe? I don't know, chat. It is still an irritable bump when you think about it. Daniel off the wall, trying to get the 50, and he did not. Not only did he not get the 50, but he didn't even touch the ball. And it didn't feel like he was in a bad position either, so I wonder if we can... we're not going to be able to see. But I wanted to see from Jack's perspective if he did a little bit extra to try and make sure that he didn't connect. Oh, you know what we haven't seen, and I just realized as we just saw Jack do it, is a wave dash kickoff, which is something we'd expect to see much earlier. Certainly from Jack, who probably has a lot of practice with it. I don't know how much Daniel does the wave dash kickoff, because I do think it's pretty exclusive to 1v1. Jack, a good clear. Sending the ball up to the ceiling is actually a really good defensive mechanism, because you cannot take a good air dribble from that high up. And then the player basically has to wait. What a save. The player has to wait for the ball to either have to meet it at the ceiling and do their best to make a really tough air dribble, or they have to wait for it to come all the way back down to the ground. Nice shot from Daniel, which buys yourself a ton of time on defense. This time, Daniel goes for the old classic Daniel dribble, as we used to call it, but he does get the ceiling reset instead of the ball reset. And he slots it over the top of Jack. Daniel, way too strong of a touch. Is he going to be able to recover from it and not just lose a goal? No, he's not, because Jack is going to air dribble bump him. Daniel needs to find a way to keep himself out of these spots. Daniel taking the ball to the back corner. Jack with the super pre-jump. Daniel immediately changes his play. Just tries to cover the challenge from Jack. Fortunately, he has not covered it well, because Jack has stolen this back corner boost and is now using the flip he has falling from the ceiling in order to slot it in the top shelf. Daniel was hoping to connect with the ball there. Because he didn't, he's going to be recovering late. He had an opportunity to just turn back to the back wall if he wanted to, and he actually would have had a chance at saving that, but instead he gambled on his chances to connect on a challenge early, and Jack is going to make it 5-2. Jack just pulling away here in this game. A great kickoff win and good high placement and power on the shot, 113 km/h. Not going to be able to stop that if you're Daniel. Daniel missing the midfield boost. Can he somehow do something with this play? Announcer's going to give him credit for a super save. Now Daniel's air dribble. Jack is not pre-jumping them, and that's what Daniel wants to see. He wants to see an early challenge that he can then adjust, either go under or over the top of. Jack is waiting ever so patiently on the goal line. Daniel has not been able to squeeze it underneath him. Daniel looking to go over the top. The ceiling does get doubled by Jack instead of him. Pops this ball high. Taking it for another high bounce. Another great reset at the perfect time. Jack off the wall gets the save. Daniel just thought he was going to be able to get it past him. Oh, Jack went for the pinch. Would have been nasty. And he actually somehow held on to possession too, because he pinched it so hard that it came flying off the backboard to the midfield where he could get the first touch. Jack quicker than Daniel on his half. But the cost of playing fast is a shot over the top of the net. He's going to steal this boost as it spawns and die for his efforts. Now can Daniel score? This seems like a really crucial position here to score on. He hasn't gotten tons of opportunities, and he's only got a minute 20 to get 3 more. This is another great air dribble setup, but Jack has just done such a good job at saving them, and he does it again. He pre-jumps and then flips the correct direction. I want to watch it from Jack's perspective, because he did jump early, and then he, I think he backwards diagonal flipped to get back to where the ball was in order to intercept it. You know, I don't think Daniel is really even playing that poorly with the execution on those air dribble plays. Just Jack has done a really good job at playing on defense. 6-2 and a minute left to go. Trying to slot it top right. Daniel able to get the save. Now Jack. Dribble, reset. Didn't even use it. Daniel just takes it away and should have a third. Oh, he played it so slow. He must have felt like the power shot wasn't going to score. Jack with the fancy dribble. Doesn't lead to much, though. 30 seconds. And the dream for Daniel is, well, if he's not going to play it as fast as possible, it's certainly not there. He was going to need to rush it to net immediately, but he doesn't seem interested in doing that. The clock will wind down, and Jack will have the edge. Now in the 3 times these guys have played, Jack is going to have won 2 of them. The only one played on the same ping. A good performance from Daniel, though. Jack is just such a legend at everything that makes a good 1v1 player. Credit to Jack for a great performance. I don't want to talk in spectator. Thanks for playing. GG's. Oh, Jack didn't see that. But Daniel did. GG's, chat. Jack with the 4-2 win.